All right, Alex Pereira, the light heavyweight champion of the world, has just called out Dricus Du Plessis, the middleweight champion of the world. Now that's amazing, double champ status and all the rest of it. I don't like it. Simple as that. And I've got a lot of very, very good reasons why. Now, first of all, we don't know. Maybe Alex Pereira's just messing around because even though he's a serious son of a bitch, the man has a sense of humor. He's very stoic, but I'm telling you, he's a sarcastic guy, and I get it. So maybe he's trolling.
It's Adesanya. Chama.
Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's just trying to make the most money he can, take on the toughest opponents and retire with millions and millions and millions of dollars in the bank. He's probably going to do that anyway. But still, here was the call out to Dricus Du Plessis. Here is what he said. He said, I'm focused on my next fight and I'm going prepared, but you never know what's going to happen. So regardless of the result, I want to go down one more time to the middleweight division and go for the belt. Hey, Dricus, bring your will to fight me so that you can prove that you are a better man than me. With your public statement, it is easy to make this happen. Sham, right? And it is probably easy, right? Dricus is a big star. He's the middleweight champ. He's beaten number 1, 2, and 3. Izzy, Strickland, Whittaker, right? He's doing legendary things of his own. And of course, Alex Pereira is the belle of the ball, the man of the moment, Mr. Save the Day, okay? He will cancel his holiday in Australia, grab his mouthpiece and jump on a plane anytime you want, okay? That's why we love this guy. But what is he doing? As I said, he's the light heavyweight champion of the world. Being the light heavyweight champion, it comes with some responsibility. Now, as I said, I've got a few reasons why I don't like this, so I'm going to go through them. First and foremost, number 1, he's got people to fight already. He's fighting Khalil Roundtree. You cannot look past Khalil Roundtree. He's the kickboxer killer. He really is. Think about this. He beat Gokhan Saki, very good kickboxer that came to MMA. Dustin Jacoby, very good glory kickboxer that came to MMA. Could he do the same to Alex Pereira? I don't know. It's a tough ask, but I tell you what, don't underestimate the man. And that's what fighters always say. If you ever ask them what they want down the line, they always say, and it's kind of a boring answer, oh, I can't look past this guy. Saturday night, this is very, very serious. I'm not looking past this one. And they're correct to say that, but it's also a bit of a cop-out. It is a little bit. Just have some balls and say, listen, yeah, I want this guy, that guy, that guy. Line them all up, I'll knock them down, right? So I like that from Pereira, but he does have some fights because after Khalil, if he's victorious, and that is a big if. Chael Sonnen says that he's going to crush Alex Pereira or something like that.
Khalil Roundtree's going to walk through Alex Pereira. There you go. Tell me I'm wrong.
But it's a big if. But then after that, he's got to fight Magomed Ankalaev. And by the way, Magomed Ankalaev, he ain't happy about this. He is going absolutely mental online. Let's have a look at what he had to say. He said, you are so weak, Alex Pereira. You only pick on the guys who are in lower divisions than you, and you think that you can beat them. People are not stupid. There is a reason why you are fighting Khalil and not me. Well, listen, he might have a point. And that brings me on to the second reason why I don't like this. We want to see great champions. And Alex Pereira is a great champion, make no mistake. We want to see them take on all comers, right, in their division, but also prove that they can beat all of these different type of styles. Magomed Ankalaev, on paper, is a very, very tough stylistic matchup because of the Dagestani wrestling, okay? If you look at Pereira, he's had a kind of a favorable path. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, look at the facts. People like Bruno Silva, Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Yuri Prohaska, Jamal Hill, Yuri Prohaska again. By the way, all really, really tough guys. Not easy fights. But what I'm saying is Magomed Ankalaev kind of gives a different look, right? And if he was to fight him, and if he was to beat him, he would shut any of the critics up. I'm not a critic, by the way. I'm just saying there's a lot of people out there. Anthony, on paper, Smith, always says, my guy, always says, listen, he hasn't beat a true mixed martial artist. Worst to that effect anyway. And he kind of has a little bit of a point. This would shut all of that nonsense up. It would stop all of that chatter. Simple as that. Also, if he's willing to go back down to 185, which I don't advise, by the way, why didn't he do it when he first lost to Israel Adesanya? He'd beaten Izzy twice in kickboxing. We know this. Makes his way up the rankings, gets a shot at Izzy, beats him. Unbelievable. Becomes the champion. Izzy comes back, even more unbelievable. And I tell you what, all you people out there talking shit about Izzy, that man didn't have to come back so quickly, and he did. He turned it around in record fashion, came back, knocked him out in round 2. What a story. what an ending. But the problem is that wasn't the final chapter. 3-1. 3 fights for Alex, 1 win for Izzy. What they should have done, in my opinion, was a rubber match. They are 1-1 in mixed martial arts, 3-1 if you count the kickboxing. Make them go at it again. But Alex didn't want to do that, and I understand why. And this also brings me on to another reason, okay? He's gigantic. He's gigantic at light heavyweight. He'd be a big heavyweight, and he's ridiculous at middleweight. How that man ever made middleweight for as long as he did is just, it's a mystery to me, right? That can't have been easy. And when you cut that amount of weight, it affects your ability to take a shot. That is a fact. Simple as that. It's the only reason Kelvin Gastelum knocked me out in my final fight. I'm telling you, 2 weight cuts in very short time. But anyway, I digress. But it is something to consider. It really is, because, you know, if it goes down to 185 and Dricus Du Plessis maybe on paper doesn't hit as hard, maybe not as polished in the kickboxing, he is a well-rounded threat. He does have excellent takedowns. He will mix things up against Alex Pereira. And if Pereira can't take the best shot from Izzy at 185, he probably can't take the best shot from Dricus at 185 either. So what does that mean? Well, it means that the stock's going to drop, simple as that, and it's going to affect his buying power going forward. Just going down to 185 doesn't really make the most sense for him. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt. Go to heavyweight. If you truly want to become a 3-weight division champion, which, by the way, what an achievement that would be. He would be the only person in the history of the UFC to ever do that. Unbelievable. But if he loses at 185, that's going to kind of limit the options a little bit going forward. Granted, this sport's all about what have you done for me lately. 1 big win, everyone forgets about that. Well, you know, he's too big for middleweight and all the rest of it. They would forget about it. But even still, the stock would drop a little bit. And there's no guarantee that when he comes back to light heavyweight, he would win that next fight. He has the potential to beat Khalil Roundtree, to beat Magomed Ankalaev, and then maybe 1 or 2 more, and then go up to heavyweight and challenge there. And let me tell you, regardless of whoever's got the belt at that time, Pereira's a threat, certainly at heavyweight. I'm telling you right now, could you imagine the power in Alex Pereira walking around at 250 pounds? That's the shit that will give you nightmares. I'm telling you, right? And those guys, whoever it is, John Jones, Stipe Miocic, Tom Aspinall, not getting into all of that stuff, okay? But whoever it is, they're going to know they've got a very, very serious threat on the hands. But if he loses at 185, would it take that luster away? Maybe. Another reason is we've got to remember there's not only challenges at 205, Dricus Du Plessis has got people lining up to fight him. Khamzat Chimaev wants a go. Robert Whittaker probably deserves another go if he beats Khamzat Chimaev. And then the middleweight division, there's plenty of other people coming up as well. So if Alex Pereira was to beat Dricus Du Plessis, or the other way around for that matter, it applies to both of them. Whoever wins that, they're going to slow down the title challenges in their division. Simple as that. If you're bouncing between weight class and weight class, which, by the way, isn't very healthy for you, certainly when he's 37 years old and he's the star that he is, it's not advisable. But if he was doing that, okay, that division contender is going to have to wait for a bit. That one's going to have to wait for a bit. And they're going to start getting pissed off. And when you're the champion, you kind of have an obligation for the next man in line. And I know what you're all going to say. You're going to say, Bisping, what are you talking about? You defended against old man Dan Henderson, and then you fought a welterweight against George St. Pierre. Shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. When I knocked out Luke Rockhold, the next day, Dana called me and offered me the rematch from UFC 100, okay? I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. I owe that old bastard one. And then I was meant to fight Robert Whittaker, who became the interim champion, okay? A little history lesson, just because I see this a lot online. Yoel fought Whittaker. I was there to challenge the winner. Whittaker won. Then they said, let's do an ultimate fighter, Bisping versus Whittaker. I was all in.
But the fact that you're standing there with that belt on like you're a champion makes me sick. You should be ashamed of yourself. Here.
But then for many, many reasons that I'm not going to go into, it didn't happen. Whittaker couldn't do it. He couldn't be there. And that was that. In the meantime, after that, I had to have surgery. And then lo and behold, George St. Pierre wants to come back and he wants to challenge me. And I'm telling you what, I'm a big fan of George St. Pierre. He's an absolute legend. He's got nothing to do that he used to fight at welterweight. Robert Whittaker used to fight at welterweight, for crying out loud. But the fight with George St. Pierre meant millions of dollars in the Bisping bank account. So anyone that's got a problem with that, go f*** yourself. Anyway, moving on. And you know what? After I've said all of that, I'd still love to see the fight because first and foremost, yeah, I used to be a fighter. Now I'm a commentator. But more than anything, I'm a fan of this crazy sport. And I would like to see Alex Pereira go up against Dricus Du Plessis. I'd love to see him go to heavyweight. I'd love to see him against Magomed Ankalaev. I'd like to see him become a 3-weight champion just simply because it would be something that we've never seen before. But regardless, I did give a few good bona fide reasons of why it might be a bad idea. But for shits and giggles and legendary fights, it'd be a fantastic idea. Anyway, I've rambled for long enough. I had neck surgery last week and I'm in a lot of pain. I've had a busy day. I've been doing a lot of DIY at home. The doctor told me, lie down, take it easy. My wife's got me on the tools, sanding, stripping paint, doing all kinds of shit, right? I'm knackered, I'm tired. Let me know what you think about this whole thing in the comment section down there, please. I'm back, as I said, about a week off because of the surgery. Hopefully videos going up again every single day. So subscribe and ring the bell. And thank you for watching.